good enough?
Just about.
Clever. Haven't you forgotten something?
No? Don't think so.
You're supposed to carry me over the threshold.
You crazy. A great lump like you.
And whose fault's that?
Good morning, Monica.
Mr. Manson, you're nice and early.
How was your weekend?
Well, we went to see the house again. And do you know the decorators are nearly finished? Isn't that amazing? I thought they'd be weeks overdue. Everyone always says how slow they
That's
are.
marvelous.
Isn't it? Harry was so pleased. We both were.
That's splendid, Monica. Your very first decorators.
My very first house?
Yes. Monica, could you rustle up a couple of aspirin? I've got the devil of a head. It started on the train.
Right away.
And Monica, could you get me Mrs. Sorensen on the line first?
Are they back already?
Yes. They're back.
Thought you were too tired.
I am.
Me too. Aren't you going to answer it?
What?
The phone.
So it's true. Too much sex does make you deaf.
Oh, please. It's putting me off.
All right. You answer it then.
In my delicate condition.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Guess you want Prue. It's our landlord for you.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I was terribly sick earlier, so I was lying down.
Oh, I woke you up.
Sort of.
I'm sorry.
Oh, just as well. I've got a lecture at 11.
Well, can't you take the day off?
My first day back? Don't be silly. What were you phoning about?
Well, it seems a little inappropriate in the circumstances. I was going to invite you to lunch.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
But if you've been sick...
Oh, that was ages ago. By lunchtime, I'll be ravenous. That's what I'm like these days.
Or shall we say 12:30? At your favorite place.
Perfect. Bye.
Don't tell me you're going to the Ritz.
Better than that. That's the other awful thing. Apart from being sick, I keep falling asleep all over the place. Do you know I actually fell asleep in the bus queue this morning? Well, nearly. You know the sort of sleep you have in church, when your head sinks lower and lower and your eyes close, and you sleep for maybe 10 seconds or so, and then your head jerks up with a terrible jolt, and you wonder if anyone's noticed.
Bloody Mary.
What?
Bloody Mary?
Oh, no, just tomato juice. Very prissy about alcohol, my baby is.
Scotch and soda and
Well,
tomato.
I just started keeling over on the man in front. Till finally, I woke up and he was holding me. Other people were crowding round, saying, "Are you all right?" And other people were pretending not to notice. And I said yes. Of course I was all right. I'm just pregnant and liable to go to sleep anywhere. And they said, oh, well, and that's different then. And we all got back in the queue and pretended it hadn't happened. Only the bus was ages coming, and I had to make a real effort to make sure it didn't happen again. That would have been really embarrassing.
You shouldn't have been in a bus queue.
Oh, I can't take taxis everywhere like some people.
You could. I'd be happy to pay. Don't like to think of you queuing for buses.
Oh, why not? Lots of pregnant women do.
Oh, the hell with them. They're not you.
Anyway, if I had the taxi money, I wouldn't spend it like that.
Why?
It would seem extravagant when we need so many other things.
Such as?
Well, hey, you're not pumping me so you can go off and do something silly.
Me?
Yes, you. I know you.
Oh, come on, Prue. Out of pure academic interest, what is it you need more than taxis right now?
Well, Gavin needs a new jacket and a pair of shoes. And if I had the money, I'd rather buy things for him. Or a pound of steak instead of a pound of cheese.
What do you mean you're not getting enough to eat?
Oh, of course we are. It's all protein. Don't look so worried. Gavin said we should manage, and we are.
Let me buy you a car.
No, you've done enough for us already. When I think what that lease must have cost, I go, come on.
You're not supposed to think what a wedding present cost. You do like the flat, don't you?
It's the most beautiful flat in the whole of London.
Well, hardly that, but it's a start.
Gavin wants to pay you rent.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I think he feels beholden.
But you don't, surely.
I don't suffer from masculine pride.
I'll tell you what, I make a bargain with you. I promise not to mention taxes again if you don't mention the lease.
It's a deal. Anyway, I like buses.
That's not the point.
What is then?
The point is, you're my daughter. So, you had a good time?
Fantastic. We really enjoyed it.
You're very brown.
Oh, you should see Gavin. I look quite pale beside him. Isn't it sickening? Whatever I do, I'll never catch up with him. He's got that sort of skin. God, how am I going to choose between avocado and prawns and smoked salmon and pate? What are you going to have?
Avocado, steak and salad, a man of simple tastes.
I think I'll pinch a menu and take it home. Then I can read it 3 times a day.
You mean the flat?
Yes?
What if you could decide on your main course and I could order the wine?
You're cross. I'm wasting your time.
No, not at all. I've got all the time in the world till 3, but it will be something for them to be getting on with.
I'll have smoked salmon, the lamb to follow, peas and celery, no spuds. Will that do?
If that's what you really want. Smoked salmon, please. Avocado vinaigrette. Roast lamb, peas, celery. I'll have the entrecote steak, medium rare, little salad, and we'll have the wine list, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I've done something, haven't I? Or said something.
No.
Tell me what it is.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. You were all right before, so it must be me. Tell me. I'm always honest with you. Daddy, I've got something to tell you. I'm going to have a baby.
We'll have a bottle of the Shadow Tower, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm ashamed to admit it, but it hurt me when you called the flat home. There, now my secret is out. And I know it's quite indefensible, that's why I didn't want to tell you, because you're right, the flat is your home now, and I'm being absurd and sentimental, and I know it.
God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it. It just sort of slipped out. I knew you'd feel like that. I've really been trying not to use the word at all. I am sorry.
Prue, you're an idiot.
Am I?
And I love you.
And I love you, too. Strong stuff, this tomato juice.
No, do me good to walk for a bit.
Won't you be late?
I've got nothing special this afternoon.
I thought you said you had something at 3.
Did I?
Bye, Daddy. It's a lovely lunch.
Take care.
I will. See you soon.
So I see.
You didn't go to college.
Neither did you.
In fact, you're not even dressed yet.
My God, you're observant today.
Don't you want to hear about my lunch?
Not really. You stuffed yourself as usual?
He offered to buy us a car.
You mean he offered to buy you a car?
I said no.
Right.
But it was sweet of him, wasn't it? You haven't had any lunch, have you?
Been studying.
When you're grouchy, it generally means you're starving. I'll go out and get you something in a minute. He was ever so pleased to see me.
You exploit him.
Do I?
You know you do. You victimize him even.
I can't resist it. I want to see how far he'll let me go.
He indulges you. Just remember, that stuff doesn't work with me.
It's extraordinary how quickly Daddy's forgiven me. Amazing when I remember how angry he was.
You didn't mention me?
No, he hasn't forgiven you.
Great.
I'm rather glad. I know I ought to want you to be friends. But if you were, you might both love me less. I might be less special to both of you.
You're special, all right.
Funny how Daddy went on as if it was all your fault. You should have had that fight, you know. When I told him I was going to have a baby.
I'd like to break your neck.
That's understandable, sir, but I don't advise you to try.
He needed to win. You would have let him, wouldn't you?
You have to be kidding.
No, he needed to beat you to make it all right. Don't you see? I could have comforted you for losing, but I could never have comforted Daddy. No, I wouldn't have liked to have seen you fight. Not really. It would have looked so undignified. Comic. I mean, what would Mummy and I have done? We'd have had to separate you like mad dogs. You'd have looked ridiculous.
So what? It didn't happen.
No. If you had beaten him, I could never have touched you again.
For half an hour, maybe. You can't keep your hands off me.
But it would have been greedy of you to win. You've got everything else on your side. Nobody deserves that much victory. It's immoral. Do you know, sometimes I think it's immoral how much I love you. Or dangerous. It's just too much. I sometimes think it's going to do me actual damage. No, I don't need you and Daddy to love each other. You both love me. That's enough.
Rupert, I'm so sorry.
Think nothing of it. You're the boss, as they say. Mind you, it requires a special skill to get back from lunch even later than I do.
To be quite honest, I completely forgot. Monica should have reminded me.
Her mind is crammed with orange blossom. I got the proofs back.
Yes?
Then all was forgiven. Did they have a good time? Or is that a question one shouldn't ask about honeymoons?
She looks very well.
Gently burgeoning.
Not yet. Give the girl a chance.
Yes, well, I suppose it's early days. I hope she regards me as a secular godfather.
I've no idea. We didn't talk about you. Well, how did you make out with our new author?
I think you might have warned me. She's a teetotal vegetarian. I had to share her gruesome diet in an effort to endear myself to her. And to distract her from the small print.
Good God, I had no idea your devotion to duty was so great. You sure we're paying you enough?
I knew you'd be impressed.
Just a minute.
Shade on the mean side. First novel, no agent. It's a bit tempting. Peter, isn't that why you hired me, to play high to your Jekyll?
If you could take it anywhere, get better terms than these.
True, but she won't.
Really? Why not?
A reason so simple, it may not have occurred to you she likes me. She considers it an honor to pay some small percentage in an effort to put me back on the road to health.
Rupert, you're a con man.
That's why I'm so likable. Once you get past the unnerving artificiality of my veneer. Tea. Hard upon the heels of lunch. Or could you make it coffee?
I'll see what I can do for you, Mr. Warner.
But, Monica, you know what you can do for me. We have discussed it often. I can't imagine what's holding you back.
I'll get your coffee.
Tell your bridegroom I shall claim droit de seigneur. What is his name?
Harry.
Oh, yes, of course. As in Tom, Dick, and. Maybe that's an omen. What made old Harry finally pop the question then?
His divorce came through.
Really? Monica doesn't look like that kind of a girl. Pity.
You're quite right. It's a 5-year separation. She's not involved at all.
I knew it. With a name like Monica, you simply can't go astray, no matter how hard you try. Your thighs wax muscular, your cheeks grow red, you are cursed with innocence. Whereas Rupert, there's a name to conjure with. The quintessence of frivolous corruption, don't you think? Mind, I'm not sure I can fit our beloved Prudence into my theory. Not very prudent, was she?
Hello.
Hello.
You had a good lunch. She rang me.
Oh, she wasn't sick again.
No, of course she wasn't. It is called morning sickness.
Yeah, she had a bad bout of it this morning.
I know. But she enjoyed her lunch enormously. That should put your mind at rest.
Was that all she rang up to say?
She just wanted to chat. I invited them both for the weekend. Is that all right? I thought it was time for a small olive branch.
Yeah. They're coming.
Yes, but not till Saturday.
Why not Friday night?
Apparently Gavin has to see someone on Saturday morning.
But I could fetch Prue Friday, he could follow Saturday.
I suggested that, but they don't want to be separated.
Good God, for 24 hours?
We used to be like that. Don't you remember? Anyway, they're coming on Saturday in time for lunch. She still has a very healthy appetite, your daughter. She said Gavin was starving and he envied her lunch.
Well, I'm not going to starve feeding him as well if that's what she's after. Thanks. He should have been at college.
I suppose he should. Prue should have been at college, but she was with you.
Well, that's not the point. Why wasn't he at college?
I don't know. I expect he was tired after travelling all night.
What?
Yes. He said they got back this morning.
But I thought they were arriving last night.
They changed the flight. It was cheaper.
Cheaper? Do you mean he kept Prue up all night to save a few lousy quid of my money in her condition?
First of all, it was my money. For what it's worth, it was my present. Secondly, he didn't keep her up all night. She could perfectly well sleep on the plane, and she probably did. Thirdly, it wasn't a few lousy quid. It made quite a big difference. And fourthly, she's as strong as an ox. I'm sorry. I always get pedantic when we argue. Something to do with lack of practice. It makes me nervous.
Cass, I don't want him here.
I know. But we've no choice. If we don't have him here, we won't see Prue. I know you can take her out to lunch, but then I don't see her. And it's not the same, is it? I mean, it's not like being together as a family.
Well, those days are over.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, it's true. We're not a family anymore.
It's different, that's
I
all.
looked at her today. I hardly recognized her. She was so offhand, so wrapped up in him.
She's in love.
You mean she's trapped?
No.
It's true. He's going to sponge on her for the rest of her life, getting her pregnant.
She chose him.
Choice? You call that choice after what he did?
Well, it takes two, you know. She knew what she was doing.
How could she?
She told me. I wasn't going to tell you, but now I think maybe you should know. Just before the wedding, when she was getting dressed, she said, "Mummy, I wanted this to happen." Gavin wasn't the first. She said she was curious, and sometimes she thought she was in love, and sometimes it was just fun. But she never wanted to be pregnant until she met Gavin. She did it on purpose.
You're an angel.
4 poppadoms?
You really don't mind going out?
It's the only way I'll get to eat. Tandoori chicken?
And vegetable curry.
Hot?
Very hot. Rice. Lots of rice.
I think I can manage to cook rice.
We haven't got any rice.
Isn't there any food in this place at all?
No.
Mango chutney.
Right, and that onion thing.
Oh, come on, honey. You'll have indigestion all night.
Who cares?
I care. It'll keep me awake.
Gallons of beer.
Okay.
I love you.
I know.
What are you going to use for money?
Check.
You've got an overdraft.
I also have a check card, and the guy in the shop is kind of trusting.
You mean he fancies you?
Maybe.
Do they have ice cream?
Oh, come on, honey. After all that.
No, for pudding.
I know what it's for. I wasn't planning to rub it all over you.
Hey, that's an idea. Might be fun. Then you could lick it all off.
I don't need an excuse to lick you.
No, but you like ice cream.
Yeah, but you taste better.
Your stew's getting cold. Oh, I nearly forgot. Marjorie and Alec want us to have dinner one evening next week. I said we'd love to, but I'd have to ask you which evening.
One evening next week, that's not a proper invitation. How can we possibly get out of that?
Why do you want to get out of it? You like Marjorie and Alec.
Of course I like bloody Marjorie and bloody Alec. Cass, haven't we done enough to please Prue? I mean, maybe too much.
Meaning we've spoilt her.
No, but... Well, she's never had to do without anything, has she? When it came to the point, she couldn't do without him either.
Oh, love. You're going to have to get over this. We had a lot to say at the time, and quite rightly. And they took it. That's enough. They're married now, and Prue's having a baby. It doesn't matter any longer when she started it. A few people will gossip, that's all.
Is that how you see it?
Well, I was just as upset as you were when it happened.
No, I don't think you were.
Well, it's always worse for fathers of daughters. I expect when the boys grow up...
How calm you are. Putting it all into neat little categories. It's Prue we're talking about, you know.
I know, and it's over.
Why don't you go see them by yourself? No, listen, it's you they want to see, not me, right? If they could ask you by yourself, they would, so why don't we make it easy for them?
No.
Why not? Look! Your old man hates my guts, right? So why rub his damn nose in it? What we should do is stay in a hotel around the corner, then you could spend all day with him, and I could take him 2 or 3 movies or something.
They've got to get used to you.
Meaning we've all got to crucify each other just to please you.
I'm not going without you.
I honestly wish you would. Look, you know how I feel about families. I never had one. They give me the creeps.
What about when we're a family?
Well, that's different.
Really?
Yeah. I can't wait to feel the little bastard kick.
Gavin, I do love you. I wish he'd hurry up and grow. I want him to come out so I can see him.
Give him a chance. He's only just started. If he came out now, he'd be a fish.
The way I'm going, he'll be born wearing a turban. Do you love me?
Sure.
Well, why didn't you tell me more often?
Because you keep asking me. Okay, we both go. At least I'll get some decent meals. Hey, maybe it's not such a bad idea after all.
What do you mean?
Well, if I can't get out of it, maybe I ought to use it. Make some kind of grand gesture.
Like what?
Well, like inviting them to the south of France with us.
What?
Why not?
Because they might accept, that's why not.
Right. Then they have to accept me. We'd have won.
But it will ruin our holiday.
Not necessarily. Okay, it's not ideal. But we'll only have to do it once and think what we'd achieve. The end of the whole goddamn feud.
But if they come, we can't walk around naked or make love in the garden or anything.
Some holiday, I'll be worn out.
What about me?
You're inexhaustible. You've got enough energy for 2.
Just as well. I am too.
Now stick to the point. I think we ought to make a grand gesture.
We don't need to invite them to France. We don't have to do a thing. All we have to do is wait. Once the baby's born, they'll be so thrilled to be grandparents, they'll forget they ever hated you. We don't have to do anything. The baby will do it all.
Poor kid. It's some job it's got.
Well, can I leave it to you then?
I'd much rather you didn't.
I can't possibly cope.
I was hoping Cassie might do it. All right. I have a feeling I volunteered.
Everyone will cough up quite well. I think she's very popular.
Well, that's the easy part. No, it's the actual shopping I'm worried about. I mean, what can you possibly give a girl like Monica? I use the word girl in the American sense, you understand, as a female of indeterminate age. I mean, the way she seems too useful to be leaving and too pure to be getting married. In my young day, it was cut glass rose bowls for everyone, man and boy. You can't give one of those to Monica. It looked like a portable bidet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought...
I'm on my way out. No, that sounds terrible. I'm just leaving. I shall see what I can find.
I think I found you a new secretary.
Oh,
I thought you'd be pleased.
go on.
Well, she's top of the shortlist anyway. She's been with Forrest for 5 years, and she wants a change and promotion. Only 23, I'm afraid, but so was I when I came. At least she won't be set in her ways, and she'll probably stay a long time. Don't you want to see her letter? If you like the sound of her, I thought we could interview her next week.
Yes, I suppose we'll have to.
Well, there isn't much time left.
Don't remind me. She sounds very competent.
That's what I thought.
Yes, everything so neatly balanced. Loyalty, ambition, efficiency. The perfect secretary.
You don't like her?
She doesn't sound very cozy, more like a machine.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault.
She really is the best applicant we've had.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
I think I must have written that sort of letter once.
I don't remember. I only know I hate change and I'm used to you. Oh, dear. Come on, sit down. Sit down.
I'm sorry.
It'll be all right.
I'm so frightened. I do love Harry and I do want to marry him, but it's such a big step.
I know.
And I've been here so long, it's like leaving home. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be silly. There's nothing to apologize for. There, drink that.
Oh.
We're old friends, aren't we, Monica? Just calm down. Is it something serious? You want to tell me about it?
I didn't mean to do this.
Just-
It's not fair on
no.
you. I don't want to be a burden when you've always been so kind.
Just tell me.
It's Harry.
You've had a row. A serious one.
I don't know. We're both so edgy lately. I keep thinking, suppose something goes wrong and he doesn't get the decree absolute and we can't get married, or suppose he just changes his mind.
Oh, why should you do that?
Well, he doesn't like waiting, you see. And it's been a long time. But we always said right from the start it was worth waiting for. I mean, we agreed we didn't want to do anything that we might regret. And I always wanted a white wedding. I'm quite religious, as you know. And so even though he's divorced, I just wouldn't feel right if I... Well, we always said we'd wait, that's all. Now we just keep having rows.
Trying to find me a new secretary and getting ready for the wedding. It's all been a bit much for you. Now you drink that, you'll soon feel better.
It's not easy. Having to say goodbye after 9 years.
Is it really as long as that? Yes, of course. Prue was 10 when you came.
This looks great, Mrs. Manson.
Thank you, Gavin.
He's only come for the food. He's fed up with my cooking.
When did you ever cook?
Maybe she had better things to do, like studying.
Well, you both look very brown.
Yes, it was lovely and hot.
It really was a fantastic present, Mrs. Manson.
You ought to call her mother.
Don't be silly, Prue. Doesn't matter. Let him do it when he's ready.
You ought to call them mother and father. After all, you haven't got any of your own.
Prue, leave him alone.
I was only teasing.
Thank you.
I don't know if Prue's told you, sir, but I'd like to pay you rent.
What?
For the flat.
No, I wouldn't hear of it. The lease was a present.
I really would feel much happier, sir.
Nonsense.
But if he really wants to.
Which room are we in?
The guest room.
Oh, not my old room.
No, your mother thought you'd be more comfortable in the guest room.
I see. Are you asleep, Daddy? He's in a bloody awful mood.
Well, you weren't exactly tactful, darling, were you?
What did I say?
It's not what you said. It's the way you exuded. Bad vibes.
What?
Provocation. You've just done it with me, but I don't mind. Your father does, and you know it. Unfortunately.
Are you taking sides?
You know perfectly well I'd prefer to be neutral. But if I have to take sides, of course I'll take your father's.
Even if you don't agree?
Just as you'll take Gavin's, I hope. Unless you haven't noticed yet, that's what marriage is all about.
You're being snide.
Am I? Maybe it's about time.
What do you mean? What's the matter with you today?
Prue, darling, I love you dearly, as you well know. But I'm not going to stand by and see you stirring it up.
What have I done?
Your father and Gavin have a lot to sort out. The least you and I can do about it is to be peaceful and quiet while they do it. I know you love drama, but this isn't the moment for it.
I don't understand.
Darling, don't bother pretending with me. I know you too well.
Sir? Do you and Mrs. Manson have any plans for summer vacation?
Why?
I just wondered. Prue and I thought we'd maybe go to the south of France for a month or two. I know a guy there with a cottage we could use.
How nice for you.
You and Mrs. Manson could join us if you'd care to.
Thank you. I'm afraid that's not possible.
Oh, that's too bad. We're not going until August. We plan to work all July to make the fair.
Both of you?
Sure.
Is that a good idea?
Well, I can't make it otherwise.
No, I'm talking about Prue's health.
Oh, Prue's perfectly healthy, sir.
I think that's a question for her doctor to answer.
She's okay, really.
You're an expert, are you?
No, I'm not an expert.
Well, don't you think it might be advisable to consult an expert?
I don't think Prue needs her doctor's permission to put in 4 weeks in an office.
You must realize I'd be more than happy to pay her fare.
I do realize that, sir, but we couldn't accept it.
So your prize more important than Prue's welfare?
I don't look at it that way, sir.
How do you look at it?
Well, we need the money, and I think we ought to earn it ourselves. It won't hurt Prue to work. It's no harder than going to school.
Tea up!
Gee, that looks good.
What's up with you two? You look so grim.
Your dad can't join us in France, honey, that's all.
France?
What's your drink, Mrs. Manson?
Oh, it was nice of you.
Not really. It's like an excuse to get out of the arena.
Is it as bad as that?
Well, they're sitting in there kind of glaring at each other. We have one of those silences you could gift wrap.
Would you like to chop some mushrooms?
Sure. Mrs. Manson, I don't know how to put this, but I'd hate our being here to create any kind of discord between you and Mr. Manson. And I'm sorry about the mother-father bit. I guess I just can't manage it yet.
Well, nobody expects you to. Nobody but Prue, that is.
She likes playing, that's nothing.
Well, don't you worry about discord. We've been married a long time. We understand each other.
Yeah. Do you think Prue and her dad will ever get over this thing?
Yes? Given time.
I sure hope so. It really makes me feel uncomfortable to be around it.
I know.
I mean, I'd rather not come. And it's okay with me if Prue wants to come by herself. But she wouldn't come without me. Now I guess I've made it even worse.
You just have to be patient. It's very difficult for him.
Yeah. He really hates my guts, doesn't he? But you don't.
Well, we had a super honeymoon. Thank you for asking.
Good. I'm delighted to hear it.
It was nice of you to pay.
Your mother paid. It was her present.
Same thing. Anyway, I think honeymoons are a great idea.
Is honeymoon quite the word?
Why not?
In the circumstances?
Honeymoon. The first month after marriage. The interval spent by a newly married pair before settling down in a home of their own. I looked it up in the dictionary.
You know quite well what I mean.
No, I don't. Doesn't say anything about pregnancy, if that's what you mean. And anyway, why is that such a dirty word? After all, we're married now. It's all respectable. Don't you want to be a grandfather?
Eventually, yes. In normal circumstances.
So you haven't forgiven me? Funny. The other day at lunch, I thought you had. Why have you put us in the spare room?
We thought you'd be more comfortable.
But I love my old room. We could have managed perfectly in a 3/4 bed.
Your mother thought the spare room would be
I
better.
bet she didn't. Anyway, I'm not very big or anything. In fact, it doesn't show at all yet, does it?
No.
Can't we swap? I hate twin beds.
True. It's all arranged.
You can't.
Why'd you leave it there then?
Daddy, he's beating me. I didn't lose every time I played with you, did I?
Well, maybe he let you win.
I think you cheat.
You can't cheat at chess.
Daddy, what am I doing wrong?
You're not concentrating.
You're playing a defensive game.
Well, what else can I do?
Well, your opponent's attacking, so what should you do?
I don't know.
He's not even bothering to defend himself. He's so sure you won't attack.
Well, how can I attack?
He's wide open.
I can't see it. Why?
Wait.
Ooh, Daddy.
And that's it.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah, great.
They put us in here on purpose.
Huh?
They wouldn't let us have my old room. Don't you think that was mean?
Don't see that it matters.
I love my old room.
Well, so what? You slept in it often enough. What's one night, more or less?
But I wanted to sleep there with you.
Yeah, but it's right next door to them. The amount of noise you make is just as well we're in here.
Well, you aren't exactly quiet yourself. Maybe they thought of that. Oh, aren't you all lovely in your pants? Take them off.
That's just what I had in mind. Only give me some room, huh? Which bed do you want?
Oh, whichever you're having.
Oh, come on, honey. Not again.
What do you mean, not again?
Like this morning we nearly missed the train.
Yes, I know. Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it was great. Tomorrow, maybe. Only right now I'm pooped.
Are you sulking because Daddy beat you at chess?
Cut it out, honey. I'm tired.
Well, you've done nothing all day.
Yeah, but doing nothing here beats a whole week at school. Turn the light out, huh?
Even the garden doesn't look right from here. I hate this room. It's for guests.
We are guests. Go to bed.
All right, if you insist.
Oh, God.
Move over. Oh, that's a nice welcome. I'm cold.
You never give up, do you?
Well, fancy that. And you said you were tired.
Reflex action.
That's some reflex you've got.
Well, could have been worse, I suppose.
What?
Our day en famille wasn't too bad.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, darling. Does it matter how he talks?
The clothes, the hair.
He's just young. They're all like that nowadays. It's the young people's uniform.
Is it?
Well, we used to have ours. Don't you remember?
Meaning I'm too old to remember?
No. Anyway, what was all that about France?
Oh, some rubbish about joining them on holiday.
Why was it rubbish?
Isn't that obvious?
No. You like France, and you need a holiday. You might even get to like Gavin in a holiday atmosphere.
Why bother when you like him enough for both of us?
I just accept him. I wish you could. Darling, there's no point in a feud now they're married. We said our bit when she got pregnant. We can't go on nagging them. It won't change anything. He's trying to make his peace with you if he asked us to go on holiday. When did we ever do that for my parents?
Meaning you hoped we'd say no?
Well, it can hardly be his idea of fun.
Oh, that's perfect. He offered, I refused. He gets all the credit and none of the inconvenience.
Prue looks well, don't you think?
Yes, she won't much longer if he has his way.
What do you mean?
Oh, he wants her to work in an office all through July to earn the fare for the holiday.
Well, what's wrong with that? Won't he be working too?
Yes,
Well, then.
that's hardly the point.
Darling. Lots of pregnant women work these days up to 6 or 7 months.
You never did.
I didn't have to. But I would have done if we needed the money.
I wouldn't have let you.
I like it when you sound masterful. Makes me feel young again.
Oh, yes. It all comes back to age, doesn't it, eh? What they call the generation gap. I'm a narrow-minded, sentimental old fool because I object to my only daughter being impregnated by a long-haired layabouts.
I'm sorry you're taking it so hard.
Oh, please, Moore, really hurt me this time.
It's different for men, I suppose. There's no dividing line. Once I'd accepted I could never have another baby, I also accepted that nothing would ever be quite so sad again. In a way, Prue's doing it for me, having the baby. It does make me envious, but happy as well.
Why did you never tell me you felt like that?
It's not your fault. You didn't want any more children after the boys were born. It wouldn't have mattered how many we'd had. I'd still have felt the same, I think. It's not the actual child you want in the end. Just the knowledge you're capable of having one.
It's just that you have a child. You love. You try to do your best for that child, and suddenly it's all out of your hands.
I know.
I can't protect her anymore. I feel so helpless. She fell asleep in a basket the other day. Did she tell you?
No?
Well, she did. Doesn't that worry you?
I expect she was exaggerating. I used to get pretty sleepy when I was pregnant. Don't you remember?
No.
Well, I did. It's quite normal. She probably built up the Basque story a bit to make it entertaining. Like saying, I nearly got run over, when all we mean is the bus passed a bit close. Nice to get attention. God knows there's little enough drama in life.
Yes, that's horribly true.
You wish there was more?
I don't know. I just feel... Cass, I feel so old.